So, I lost my toenail. So here's the nail, and that's where it used to be. And it just fell right off. It doesn't hurt or nothing. But how the hell did that happen? I showed my oldest daughter, and she had the same question I do. Is it gonna grow back? Hey, what's up, everybody? So it's a little dark in here tonight. This light here is actually from my laptop because I have a sleeping baby right next to me, and Trolls is on because she loves Trolls. So an update on today. After losing my toenail, I just basically watched movies all day and took a nap, and like today was like the most unproductive day I've had in a very long time. And now it's 11:34. It's almost November 8th. So today's November 7th. Happy N7 Day. Actually, N7 Day is normally kind of a bigger holiday for me because I love Mass Effect. I love everything BioWare puts out, but namely Mass Effect was a huge one for me because I went from KOTOR to Mass Effect as far as BioWare goes, and I'm sure I played some other ones in between there. Let's see, they did Dragon Age Origins, which I'm a fan of because it's like a medieval take on KOTOR, you know, sort of. It's like the same playstyle kind of as KOTOR, but more options and bigger story. But yeah, I can get into a discussion on KOTOR and BioWare. That'd last forever. But as far as today goes, I watched my first Christmas movie of the season, and actually, it's, oh god, I'm gonna fall. It's not there. It was Harold and Kumar, Harold and Kumar's Christmas, which isn't my favorite Harold and Kumar. That would be the first one. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. Just their initial trip to White Castle is my favorite. But it was a Christmas movie, and I'm kind of ready to watch some more. But we have Home Alone 1 and 2, which are probably like my favoritist Christmas movies. Yeah, and then Jingle All the Way, and any Christmas Carol, whether it's the George C. Scott from the 80s or the Muppet Christmas Carol, which I used to watch religiously with my grandmother. I love Christmas Carol. It's just a beautiful story. And I guess I haven't watched it in years, but It's a Wonderful Life is really good too, because it's kind of a Christmas Carol type story. And then of course Mickey's Christmas Carol and all that. I can't get enough Christmas Carol this time of year. Windows Defender did not find any threats since my last summary. I don't use my laptop a lot. Not as much as I probably should or could. Yeah, it's pretty much been my day. It's been kind of bummish. Really been in sort of a depressed mood lately, dealing with a lot of stuff outside of, I guess not outside of anything, I guess it's just directly my life. Like, things are changing, it's scary and it's nerve-wracking, it's a lot of pressure, and trying to stay halfway positive. Of course, losing toenail don't help. But, yeah, it's a little rough around here lately. So, just movies, playing on my phone, and reading a little bit. You want to see what I've been reading? Let me show you what I've been reading. I got right here. So first, get those out of the way. First, how about this for my son, Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. It's written by the same guy, Rick Riordan. I think that's how you pronounce it. He did Percy Jackson. And then there's like an Apollo series he did. Like it's basically like after Percy Jackson had that like minor successful like little successful moment, really. It seems like he just started doing like Gods of Children in a Mortal World, and it's been pretty good. It's funny. It's more of a young adult, but I've pretty much ran through most of my books. I take that back. I haven't ran through most of my books. I just can't seem to get geared up towards my books. I'm on book 2 out of 4 Mass Effect books. I'm on book 4 of 9, I think, of my Star Trek Next Generation novels. I got a new Star Trek Next Generation novel called Imzadi or something like that, and I'm sort of putting that one off because I read the description and it talks about Deanna Troi and Riker, which is fine. That's a beautiful love story. But then they start talking about Deanna Troi and Worf, and it seems like it's more of a Star Trek romance novel. I don't read romance novels, so I haven't got into that. I have behind me the first book of The Lost Years of Merlin, and then I believe I have either 1 or 2 more of those. I think I have 1 more of those out of maybe 4 or 5 in that series, but I don't have all those. And I think I got a couple other books I've been wanting to read. I got the original Bourne Identity, but I'm not sure I'm gonna read that. Some of those, like Tom Clancy books, are cool, but they can be a little confusing. It's not always easy for me to put the characters to faces, I guess. And if it's got Jack Ryan in it, I can deal with the Jack Ryan. You know, Chris Pine, Harrison Ford, Alec Baldwin. I'll just pick whichever one I feel like. Or I can sort of base off of a good character. John Krasinski's playing Jack Ryan in a TV series about Jack Ryan. That's amazing. I love Jim from The Office. I love that guy. I can't get enough Office. I swear to God, I turned on, because every year I watch the entire series of The Office and the entire series of Breaking Bad. And I've already watched the entire series of The Office this year, and I'm already like ready to do it again. And so the other night, I turned on the British Office, the original, and I went to sleep on the first episode, thank God. Otherwise I would have watched all those and then probably been like hungry for more and turned on the American version, and then it never would have stopped. Because once I start, I don't stop until I'm done. 9 seasons through, just a matter of days. Besides that, the other book I'm reading, here McAfee. The other book I'm reading is a little weird. Just so everybody knows, I don't actually have like a religious affiliation or anything. Like, I'm not Baptist, I'm not Christian, I'm not Jewish, I'm not Muslim or anything like that, but I'm also not arrogant. And so I'm open to a lot of stuff. And a few years ago I had a chat with a buddy because I was like, listen, I kind of believe in a God. Kinda. But I also believe in evolution. I believe in dinosaurs. I believe in aliens out in space. And they don't have a name for that. They don't have a religion for for that, without going like crazy, like I thought Scientology was that when I was younger, and then South Park educated me, and I realized that Scientology is just a whole nother, like, case of crazy. So, with that in mind, I want you to understand that in Oklahoma there are Mormons. There are a ton of Mormons that walk around, and they, they knock on your door all the time and everything. And I put them off for a long time, and then they showed up one day, and I didn't have anything better to do, and I was like, listen, how about we talk? And so we sat on the porch of my house, and we just sat there talking. And I listened to them, and I don't agree with a lot of things. I don't agree with a lot of their rules, I guess, because those boys, they were telling me about all these rules, like stuff you can't do, stuff you have to do, and things like that. And but I wanted to listen to. I wanted to learn. Who better to learn from than somebody who's going around trying to get you to come to them? And so they left me the Book of Mormon. And you see, I haven't read that much. As far as the Bible goes, that's quite a bit, probably. But I started reading it. They said, try to read a little bit, see what you think. We'll come by. Okay. They would come by like once a week anyway, so I knew they'd be back. Well, I read a little bit. I start to notice something. So when they come back, they're sitting in my living room, and they go, so did you read some? I said, yeah, I only got to here, though. I didn't get very far. I was like, but I did notice one thing. You don't discredit the Old Testament. You don't discredit the New Testament. All of that is still valid. They were like, yes, absolutely. I was like, so your guys' book is just DLC. And they were like, we have never thought of that. I was like, well, that's what it is. As long as you know the Old Testament, you know the New Testament, just add the Book of Mormon in there. Now, Mormonism is crazy when you look at the history, because what was his name? Jeremiah something. I want to say it was like John. I know it wasn't John Smith, but it was like, I wonder if I can find it real quick by the laptop light. Let's see if they have his name. And yeah, it's about God in America, which that's where it's a little crazy, but I haven't gotten there yet. I just want to know the guy's name. Now, I remember Brigham Young. Joseph Smith, that's it. Joseph Smith. Is like Joseph Smith's like this crazy guy who was visited by an angel, and the angel was like, listen, you need to write this book on these, on paper, or no, what was it? Try to remember, because, like I said, that's the beginning of the book, tells you, like, how all that came to be, and then after that, it's basically more scripture. And, right now I'm actually dealing with, like, these, the people that wrote the books. Nephi is, sort of telling everybody about the Old and New Testament dealings, like what happened back then. And, it's, let me turn that down. But it's like this angel gave Joseph Smith, like, these gold slabs with everything written, with this entire thing written on these gold slabs. And, he wrote it all down on paper, and then he, like, buried them or something. No, that's what it was. They told him where to find the slabs, and he went and he dug it up. It was by an old tree or something, and he dug it up, and then he transcribed it, but the tablets are hidden, or the slabs, or whatever they're called. They're like hidden, not hidden now, they were hidden then. Now they're like protected, like nobody's allowed to see them. So like there's no pictures of it, there's no evidence that they actually exist. But I can appreciate this religion because they talk about, like, the whole point of faith is that you don't have to see. You don't have to see these slabs to know that the scripture is about God. Like, you don't have to see God to know that he's there. And so I can appreciate that. And so I'm not a Mormon. This, I don't go to church for this. I'm not going to be knocking on your door or nothing. I'm just educating myself on another religion. There's nothing wrong with that. Expand your knowledge. So, that's what I've been reading. They see when I told them in that conversation that I do believe in evolution. Like, there's scientific fact for evolution. I told them I believed in dinosaurs. They didn't really like that too much. It's like they were targeting me after that. They were like, we have to tell this guy that science is fake, is sort of what it seemed like to me. And so I didn't talk to him much after that. But I did, that was a really long conversation I had. And I did meet up with them like once or twice after that. And then I moved within the same city. But I moved, and they kept, for a while they were sending me like every day or every couple of days they would send me a text which would just have another like piece of scripture from the book, and that was cool. I told them I was like, I appreciate that, but they quit doing that, and then I quit answering my phone from them because it got a little bit ridiculous because we were moving, we had lots of crazy stuff going on, and they couldn't really appreciate that enough, I guess. And they were harassing my buddy. Like, my buddy was like, I don't care, I don't want to hear it, and they just wouldn't leave him alone. But he told them that I moved, and they didn't question how far away or where it was, so they just left me alone. But if they ever see this, I am still reading it. It is very interesting. It's kind of a different take on a lot of things, but for someone like me who questions their own religion a little bit, like I don't think, like, I'm not like, oh, there's a God, I'm gonna pray to him, he's gonna take care of me. I just think that maybe there was a greater power that helped in the building process of existence, I guess. The building of existence, I guess. So, I mean, the Big Bang. Maybe a God was created from the Big Bang. Or maybe a God caused the Big Bang, is all I'm saying. And I don't force nothing on anybody because I don't know. I don't expect them to think that I know what I'm talking about. So anyway, yeah, I'm reading nonfiction, right? Is that how it works? Fiction, nonfiction. Wait, fiction. Yeah, fiction. I'm reading fiction and fiction. But I can appreciate the one thing with any Bible or with this that I can appreciate is what it teaches. None of them tell you to, kill people and be a bad person. They all want you to be a good person. There's some things in there that don't quite fit with today's society, but the basis of the religion is just, be kind to each other, be a good person. And that's my goal, basically. So, yeah, so happy in 7 Day. In 7 Days every year, November 7th. Hopefully next year I can spend it a little better. Normally I just wear my Mass Effect hoodie all day and play Mass Effect, but I don't have my hoodie, and I deleted Mass Effect Andromeda and didn't have time to re-download it because it's a pretty big download. But that's today. Hopefully there'll be a tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be a better tomorrow when it gets here. Alright, thank you, everybody.